Hello, everyone, and welcome. Today, we are tackling an absolute icon, the smash burger. I'm going to show you my personal method for making a burger that is so ridiculously juicy and packed with flavor, it's going to completely change how you think about cooking burgers at home.
You know, so many people think that to get a really great restaurant quality burger, you have to go out. I am here today to completely bust that myth. The truth is, with the right ingredients and a couple of key techniques, you can make the most incredible, satisfying burger you've ever tasted. And you can do it right on your own stovetop. So if you stick with me and follow these steps, I promise you're going to have a recipe that becomes your new go-to for homemade burgers. All right, let's get into it. Every truly legendary burger starts with an amazing sauce. It's that first layer of flavor that just sings with the richness of the meat. We're gonna make our own from scratch. It's unbelievably simple, and trust me, it's a million times better than anything you can buy in a bottle. So for our sauce, you'll need half a yellow onion, and you want to chop that up as finely as you possibly can. Then, for that little bit of sharp, tangy crunch, we're going to use 1 tablespoon of chopped pickled cucumber. The base is a 1/4 cup of a good quality mayo, which will balance out with 1.5 tablespoons each of good old yellow mustard and ketchup. And to finish it off, a 1/4 teaspoon of freshly ground black pepper to bring it all together. Now here's a quick but really important tip about that mustard. Please stick with the standard yellow stuff. You want to avoid the fancy whole grain or Dijon mustards for this sauce. We're going for that classic, bright, acidic tang you expect from a great burger sauce. And simple yellow mustard is what gets you there. And making it couldn't be easier. Literally, just put all those ingredients into one bowl and whisk them together until the sauce is totally smooth and everything's mixed in. That's it. We'll set that aside for a bit to let all those flavors get to know each other, and now we move on to what I think is the secret weapon of this entire burger.
Okay, this is the thing that's going to take your burger from just great to completely unforgettable. Sweet, deeply flavorful caramelized onions. They bring this rich, almost jammy sweetness that just cuts through the savory patty and the tangy sauce so beautifully.
We're going to start with 4 yellow onions. And it's really important to use yellow onions, specifically because they have a higher natural sugar content. That's what lets them break down and caramelize into that gorgeous, deep sweetness. To help them out, you'll need about a tablespoon of olive oil, a couple tablespoons of water for later, a little cube of butter to finish, and if you want, a teaspoon of balsamic vinegar to add a little acidic pop at the end. So first, slice your onions into nice, thin rings. Add your olive oil to a pan over very low heat, and I mean it, as low as it goes. Add the onions and just let them cook patiently, giving them a stir every so often. You'll get to watch them soften, translucent, and then slowly start to get that golden color. When you see those delicious brown bits sticking to the bottom of the pan, that's called fond, splash in your water to deglaze. You want to scrape up all that concentrated flavor. Once the onions are a deep, rich amber color and totally soft, stir in that butter and the splash of balsamic to finish. I just have to say this one more time. Keep the heat low. Be calm. If you try to rush this process with high heat, the sugars in the onions are just going to burn and turn bitter before they ever get a chance to caramelize. Real caramelization is a slow, magical transformation, and honestly, your most important ingredient here is just a little bit of patience. All right, with our sauce and onions ready to go, it's time to focus on the star of the show, the patty itself. For a smash burger, the quality of your meat and, maybe even more importantly, how you handle it are everything. For the perfect smash burger, this number right here is totally non-negotiable. You need ground beef that has a 20% fat content. Why? Because fat is flavor and fat is moisture. As that patty cooks, the fat renders out, basically basting the meat from the inside out, creating an unbelievably rich taste and a super juicy texture. Just ask your butcher for an 80-20 blend. Now listen up, because this is probably the single most important rule in all of burger making. Do not overwork the meat. The more you knead it or squish it around, the more those proteins tighten up, and you'll end up with a dense, tough, rubbery patty. For that tender, melt-in-your-mouth texture we're after, you have to handle it as little as humanly possible. So the process is incredibly simple. Just portion out about 150 grams of your ground meat. That's a really good size for a patty. Then using just your fingertips, gently form it into a loose ball. Don't press it, don't compact it, don't squeeze it. All you're trying to do is shape it just enough so it holds together before it hits that hot pan. Okay, team, all our components are ready. The sauce is chillin' and the flavors are mingling. The onions are sweet and jammy, and our meat is loosely formed and ready for action. Now for the best part, the cooking and the final assembly.
Before a single bit of meat hits that pan, we gotta prep our buns. Melt a little butter in a hot pan and place your buns cut side down. You wanna toast them until they're a beautiful, perfect golden brown. This isn't just for flavor, it creates this crucial barrier that's gonna stop the bun from getting soggy from all those amazing burger juices. Seriously, do not skip this step. Okay, now, get your pan screaming hot. Place one of your meatballs right in the center. Lay a little piece of parchment paper on top that just keeps it from sticking, and then use a heavy spatula to press down firmly and evenly. Smash that patty until it's nice and thin. You're creating as much surface area as possible for that delicious crust. Now peel off the paper and season that top side generously with salt and pepper. Let it cook until you see a deep, brown, crispy crust forming around the edges. That's pure flavor right there. Flip it just once, season the other side, and immediately, and I mean immediately, lay your slice of cheese on top so it gets all gooey and perfectly melted. All right, the assembly happens fast, so have everything ready. We start with our foundation, that beautifully toasted bottom bun. On top of that, we're gonna add a nice, generous layer of our creamy, tangy homemade burger sauce. Next up, a pile of crisp, shredded iceberg lettuce. This gives it that amazing, cool, refreshing crunch. And now, the star of the show. Take that sizzling hot patty with its incredible crust and that perfectly melted cheese and place it right on top of the lettuce. And finally, we crown the patty with a big heaping spoonful of those sweet, jammy caramelized onions. This right here, this combination of hot and cold, crispy and soft, this is what makes it so, so special. Put a little more sauce on that top bun, place it on top, and just take a second to look at what you made. This is it, the perfect burger. You've got the crispy, savory patty, the gooey cheese, the sweet onions, the tangy sauce, and the cool crunch of the lettuce. Every single element is working together in perfect harmony. So I've just given you the perfect foundation for a truly world-class burger. But now it's your turn. It's time to make it your own. Are you going to add some crispy bacon? Maybe some tangy pickles? What about a runny fried egg? The choice is all yours. I really hope you enjoy making and, of course, eating your own masterpiece. Happy cooking!